Okay, today, guys, we're going to uncover the landscape of surf lifesaving. Over the last 5 to 10 years, the sport's been developing here in the UAE. It's growing, and it's got to start somewhere. And my knowledge behind this isn't that great. So we're going to talk with someone who's been there, done that, not just in the UAE, but from Australia. He's over there as well. He's got much knowledge. He's competed as well, and now he's, I'll say, nurturing is the right word, or developing and helping the youth here and adults, first of all, with water safety, and then where it can go and what you can do and how it improves the lifestyle as well. So we're going to see Stephen. We're going to call you Munners. I mean, I've never really called you Stephen bro.
No, I don't really get Stephen very often. Let's just go with Munners. Let's go with that.
Munners. Bro, thanks for coming in to start with.
Thanks for having us. It's good to be here, and love what you're doing and supporting grassroots sport UAE. So happy to be here.
Man, this is going to be a really awesome conversation because it is such a fresh sport here. The first question off the bat is, what is the current landscape of surf lifesaving?
Yeah, really good question. I mean, it's really booming at the moment. It's really growing. I've set up Vikings 4 years ago. We're in our fourth year now, and we're a fully fledged surf lifesaving club affiliated with Australia Surf Lifesaving with ILS. So we're fully endorsed, fully affiliated, running full on lifesaving programs. Before us, probably the original club was Pirate Surf Rescue. Okay, they started. I coached with them maybe 12 years ago, and they've set up a club. Got really, really popular. A lot of interest from kids, and they do probably a lifestyle program with a bit of surf rescue as well. They do a bit of frisbee and a bit of archery and all sorts of stuff. Really fit and sort of active crew. And the landscape, there's another surf club has recently started, Warriors. They're now in their second year. So there's a bit of a landscape that's growing. And I think there's room for much more growth.
Yeah, totally.
In Australia, you talked about my background. I was a member of a surf club back in Australia, and every beach has got a surf club.
Yeah, totally.
It's the real hub of the community, and it's a place where the community gathers to train and then to learn about lifesaving and keep the beaches safe. So we're trying to recreate that, and it's booming.
It's a process, yes. It's going well. A lot's happened for you in the last 4 years. I mean, we were kind of talking off camera before we started about this too. It's just that kind of, when you came to Dubai, surf lifesaving was the guy sitting on the pool at Atlantis or other places like that.
Yeah.
When you said 12 years just now about the Pirates, I didn't realize that they kind of have been around.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably like two strands. You've got your lifeguards, which are your paid guys. They're at the water parks. They're at the municipality guys on the beach, and they do a tremendous job. Same in Australia. They're the ones on the beach through the week. And then the lifesaver is your volunteer. So it's your part-time hobby. Where you gain skills, and then you're able to use those skills when needed. In Australia, that setup is, and other countries like New Zealand's got a strong life-saving background, in South Africa. You've got that volunteer angle where on weekends the life-saving clubs like your Vikings would pitch up on the weekends and help keep the beaches safe.
Yeah,
we don't have that sort of aspect yet in Dubai, but we certainly help out with water safety at community swim events, etc. So we're sort of giving back to the community, raising water safety. We do a bunch of stuff with schools as well, going into schools and raising awareness of how to keep yourself safe in and around the water.
When it comes to that too, because obviously when you just mentioned those countries, I mean, New Zealand, Australia, where we're from, I mean, there was a need because of the surf conditions. Like, people needed to, first of all, they needed to be rescued because they had no idea how to swim or anything like that.
100%. I'll tell you a story. I mean, the history of surf lifesaving is, Bondi Beach. That's where it all started. 120 years ago, it was illegal to swim.
On the beach?
It was illegal to swim. There were too many people not aware of the risks, and people were drowning, losing their lives. So the government and the police banned swimming.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't until the lifesavers pitched up and said, we're going to train, we're going to get fit, we're going to learn these rescue skills. And they volunteered and kept the beaches safe. And that's when they put the red and yellow flags on the beach. And that's how it all started.
Wow. Jeez.
And
awesome. That's why I got you in here. See?
Yeah. I mean, that's
crazy.
The heart of it.
It's amazing.
That's the heart of the movement. And it's keeping people safe at the beach.
So then what was the development? Obviously, that's the first one to keep them safe. And then what was the kind of, I suppose, the timeline? Hey there. Then? If you're finding this episode inspiring, you're finding it useful, applicable, we would love you to be part of the community. There's power in community. There's power in numbers. And by subscribing to the channel that you're watching this on or listening to this on, or sharing it with people that you know that may help benefit them, will only help us find more people within the community to help it grow, to support people to live an active and adventurous lifestyle. So if you don't mind, it would mean a lot if you just push subscribe, push like, and share it with someone that is going to help today. suppose, the timeline then from going from like, okay, keep them safe, and now because it's been out to sport.
Yeah, I mean, there's two strands. There's the life-saving side, so where you gain your qualifications, you gain your rescue skills, and we do that at Vikings. We run surf life-saving programs from Australia. We fly the examiner out, and we train the kids up. I'm a trained assessor, and we fly them out to tick off the quality and the standard. So there's the life-saving side, but you mentioned the sports side. So there's two real strands, and the sports side developed through people at the beach, and they'd just, let's have a race, let's swim around the buoy. And then it grew from that. From one club would challenge another club, and then it grew from that into competitions at a local level, at a state level, and Aussies, which is a huge carnival in Australia. It's like the pinnacle of sport, and it just grew and grew from that. So to keep the lifesavers fit, they engaged with competitions as a target to train, as an allure to increase motivation. They put on these events, competition, and the standard then goes through the roof. And we've actually replicated that in the UAE as well.
Yeah, awesome.
So that life-saving angle, and then the sports side. So it's sort of, for me, we try and hit both sides of it, because I think it's important.
That's cool. We're gonna dive deeper and deeper into that one, because it was quite a popular thing when there was I think it was the Nutrigrain.
It was enormous. The 80s and 90s. It was they were the gods of Australian summer.
I was like, whoa. It was huge. These absolutely like goddess type people that are just ripped and lean and just super fit and doing their thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's
like, that was probably the golden era. Your Trevor Hendys and your Guy Leaches. And they were on the telly. There was only 3 or 4 channels on the TV. And in the summer, that was you tuned in, and they were household names. Your Grant Kennys and all that. Like they were big names, and the sport was huge.
Was it that changed the I don't know, was it the awareness, or was water safety a big thing in Australia before these kind of things came out, or was it like, first of all, it was given the ability, okay, now it's safe to go, now you go back, because it was obviously the restriction of now it's not illegal. But what was it that you think, as far as the public mind, what changed it?
I think it certainly raised the profile and awareness of the importance that lifeguards play. And I think, recognising and valuing the good work that they do. So I think it sort of certainly raised the profile, and it raised the need. And I mean, it's always in Australia and UAE, the water safety is huge, and it probably starts with learning to swim. So I know the schools do a great job here. They put a lot of time and effort into the swim, and a lot of good swim programs here. So that's the start of it. But the sports side, it's sort of the glamour, if you like, and that attracts more people to come to it, and then that gets sponsorship dollars, and then that can be fed back to the clubs for equipment for life saving as well. So it's a real sort of symbiosis between the two, the life saving and the sport. But
that's a really interesting thing. Then I definitely want to go back on that, because 4 years now, Vikings, you've launched that one up. I mean, you've got the experience, many years of experience before you come into this. I suppose the first question is, what made you want to start up? I mean, there's already one. I mean, why the next one, and why you still encourage other ones as well to keep growing?
There's probably 2 parts to that. I mean, I was a PE teacher, and off the back of COVID, school sport was non-existent. So I had plenty of energy spare. I had energy to burn, and my wife, I was driving my wife and family crazy. They're like, go on, off you go. And Pirates was pretty popular at the time, and a lot of my friends couldn't get in, and they were like, Munners, you should run this. This is right in your area. This is your sport. With your organisation level, from head of PE and head of sport, you run sports days, you organise tours, you can run events. So the combination of my skill set with my sporting background of lifesaving, it was a perfect opportunity to have a try of it.
Massively.
And we started pretty small.
To be fair, mate, when you first started, I was like, there's no way this is not going to work out. And because of your background, because of what you're doing, I just knew that.
It took off quick. We were going to start with 48 kids. That was sort of the cap we put on it. And, we sort of set it up. We had all the registration platforms ready to go, and we had really good support from the community. And it was at a time when Australians, we couldn't get back to Australia. So there was a real sort of longing for cultural connection and sport. So it was sort of a perfect opportunity to start.
The stars aligned.
And we were going to start with 48 kids, and 10 o'clock on a Sunday, the registration platform opened, and I had a phone call from a lady who was helping us with the admin sign-ups at 10 minutes past. We've got a problem, Munners. I'm thinking, oh no one signed up. But we had We had 88 people sign up.
The opposite problem. Yeah.
The system crashed with too many people looking to sign up.
Wow, jeez.
It was just
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just a freight train
what
from
a
the
bad
start.
problem.
Yeah, I was like, we can find a way. So it started with 1 day a week, and we added on another day, and then after a year, I thought we can really develop this and get more kids and we've got adults involved now, so we can just get more people doing the sport I love.
There. Well, because it is a development. I mean, the idea was the first the once a week and 48. Then it's just for other people that have considered, never mind Surf Lifesaving, but also just as a sports club in general.
Yeah.
Like going through that process and starting that up. I mean, obviously you're not going to regret it, but what would you recommend people do before getting into it?
I guess sort of, doing your due diligence in and around what you need to make sure you're compliant, make sure you're doing the right thing by the municipality and the sports councils, and you're making sure you do it legit. I mean, that's one thing that I did right from the start. I wasn't going to do a part-time ad hoc volunteer coaches sort of coming and going, and I did it right from the start. Got endorsed by Surf Lifesaving Australia, all the right insurances, all the right accreditations. So I guess just not taking any shortcuts, just doing what you need to do and doing it at a really high level from the start. And if you get the foundations right and the culture right, you can add on to it. You can grow slowly, and you can grow in a really organic way, but having really good foundations. So just getting it right from the start would be my sort of advice.
Did you have was it the I'm going to see how this goes, or I've been doing this for 5 to 10 years?
I never really had a 5-year plan. I never really sort of thought I want to do this in this. It was more a matter of I'm going to have a try of it and see how it goes, and it sort of just evolved through success and then it's starting well and having good foundations. Just more and more opportunities just keep coming, and it still happens now. I haven't really sourced out any opportunities; they sort of come to me, and it's like, and there's some that I have to say no to because I just don't have the bandwidth, but. It's sort of started.
Which is a skill in itself, right? Because in order to provide the right service and the quality of service of the growth or demand.
And I've gotten better at that because I know if I say yes to something, it means I'm saying no to something else.
Yeah, 100%.
That could be diluting the quality or diluting the attention that I can put to it, or the staffing, or my family. I say yes to these opportunities, and then I'm not around as much as I'd like to be.
Exactly.
So, I've gotten better at that. That's sort of really seen. And I saw an article on it. If it's not benefiting the club, if it's not benefiting my family, or if it's not benefiting me, I'm probably not going to support it.
That's really because then I suppose because you now you're like, oh, it was 48 was your expectations, and you got 88 coming instead. Yeah. So obviously, obviously you didn't know that the demand was there.
I sort of knew the demand was there. We had sort of a little tester sort of stuff. We had a feeling that it would be quite popular, and then it grew from there. We had 88, and then we had 150 the next term, and then we finished the first year over 200.
Oh, wow!
So I knew I was onto a winner, and I knew that the community was up for it. But it was also community buy-in. Like you've mentioned, community grassroots support. Like if I put a call out for coaches early doors. We're going to start with 48, so we're going to have 4 coaches. But so if I don't get those 4 coaches coming out of the community, your swim coaches or your PE or your ex-clubbies, if I don't get those, it's me with 10 kids.
Does it have to be someone like so? Because it's a good thing too, because it's like there's a bit of a pathway now. You created, so.
We've got a really, really well-developed pathway. We start now with 3 and 4-year-olds doing surf kids, and that's about water confidence and water safety, which is what we really want from the kids, to be confident in the water, to be safe. And we build in games and we make it really fun and, make sure you listen and make sure mum and dad's with you. Where's the light? All that sort of stuff.
Okay,
they go into nippers, which is keeping themselves safe. We go into rookies, keeping others safe, gaining the qualifications once they're 13, 15 and adults, and then the surf sports side as well, and the volunteering side. So we've got a really well-developed pathway, which feeds itself now. At the start, we had to create it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, evolution, right? You got to get it from somewhere and do it.
We didn't have it, we've now got 100 lifesavers in the club.
Wow, really?
We've got qualifications over the last 4 years. So I've got a really good bank of knowledge now of lifesavers that know the sport. But at the start, we didn't have it.
Yeah, totally.
We didn't have it.
Was it around beforehand, or was it something that you had to create, or was it something that was in demand and you're like, okay, let's bring this out?
There was demand. Yeah. There was demand. But to fulfill that demand, I also sort of did it slowly. Like we could have, I say we went from 88 to 120, we could have gone even more quicker. But I knew we didn't have the infrastructure and the quality to handle it.
Yeah.
because word of mouth is key. This is a small town, and
You can make and break it. Totally, literally.
it both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
You do a good job, and word spreads quick, and if you don't, it spreads quick as well. So
Spreads faster to be
yeah, no, totally.
It's like, God damn it.
Totally. So we've had to grow that pathway.
Yeah.
And we're now at a really good point where, my young son, who's 13, he started when he was 8, trained with us. And now he's got his surf rescue certificate and he's joined the water safety team. And, 2 years' time, and if he's, on track and his confidence grows, he could be a coach.
Yeah, massively.
So but then as a coach, he's got 8 years experience in the sport.
Even for a young fella, like how long he's been involved with. Totally.
But then we've got swim coaches, we've got PE teachers on board. So you buddy up a young fella with an old PE teacher, and it's just magic.
Go from there.
It's magic.
Because the other part of it too. Now I'm just thinking it's is it professional in Australia as far as like lifeguards and getting paid full time?
The lifeguards, your day-to-day lifeguards, Monday to Friday on the beach, like you'd see on Bondi Rescue. Those guys, they're getting paid. It's a paid gig. And in UAE, it's the same. You've got your lifeguards at Wild Waddy, you've got your lifeguards on the beach. That's their paid job. So the lifesavers, which are a member of surf clubs, often they're both. The lifesavers are volunteer, but the surf sports side, you can make some money. And probably not enough nowadays to just fully sustain themselves with the prize money. It's like it's a well-paid hobby.
Okay, yeah.
So
extra pocket money, go for your trips,
yeah,
pay for your trips, pay for your training.
They can earn $50K off a race. They can earn some good money.
Damn, yeah.
Like your Matt Bevilacquas, who are the top of the tree now, he's still a teacher.
Wow. Okay.
So they still need to
supplement
that alone.
Else. Yeah, man. So then, because I was thinking like, if they get into it, people come in, I imagine, and this is just again, you'll clean me up here as far as like. I'm going for safety. I want my kid to be confident in the water and understand the dangers that are involved out in the ocean or in the lake or in a pool or wherever around the house, right? But now obviously there's development for them, but then there's a career path, whether they potentially a career in this as well, whether coaching to...
Well, certainly, even if you don't take the skills you gain from it, you could use those skills in anything. Yeah. Like my young crew that come through the system now that do water safety, and they learn about then time management, being on time, being able to deal with, all ages and parents and kids and other coaches. So they learn skills that they can use, even if they don't go into a career in lifesaving, for instance. They can use those skills. Their confidence goes through the roof, their communication, their decision-making. They get really, really
massively,
good, really, really good people skills.
I mean, you're dealing with people, like let's say if you are going out for a rescue, I mean, dealing with someone who's in a panic or in a cluster, you know what I mean?
So decision-making, keeping their cool under pressure in an ever-changing environment. So we have plans in place for this weekend. We've got plans in place for every session, and we know that on Sunday the wind is up and it could get stronger at halfway through the session. So we've got to be ready to adapt and modify and adjust. So if that wind's a crosswind and the rocks are there, we know where the coaches need to be ready to adapt quickly. Yeah. So all the skills that they have are so transferable. That's great. And I think it's. I have a little saying. It's a little hashtag. It's more than a sport. No, yeah. Because it's like they've got so much to it. I mean, at the heart of it is that life-saving element, but there's so much more as a person you can get from it. When you talk about this now, and I'm just literally thinking because obviously the waves and that aren't massive and stuff like that. And it's not like a back home in Australia or New Zealand, right? We get it every now and again. We get there's waves are due next. There's like an app called Surfline. And you can predict it. When the waves are down the Gulf, you get some waves. And and it's not pretty. It's not a beautiful wave. It's not a rideable really. But you can ride them. Like, they're great. They're good fun. Yeah. But it's sort of a messy, choppy wind swell. What can you? I mean, is there? I know the reason I'm saying that. Is there a limitation as far as like what you can do, and is there plans potentially for you to like? I know you've done trips, right? You've done trips away, haven't you? Yeah, we took a team down to the World Champs down to the Gold Coast. Last August, which was amazing. Crazy, right? That's very cool. To talk to your point about the waves, in the UAE, we get them sometimes, but having no waves is probably a blessing and a curse because the kids can really develop their skills in flat water. Getting confident in that flat water. They're getting confident in the water. But then when there are waves, it's good to take them to the waves but gradually introduce. So you build that confidence. Totally, so it's a bit of a blessing and a curse because we know the sessions can be pretty safe. The water safety ratios when it's flat water is easier to manage. It's 1 to 10, where in waves it's 1 to 5. So your water safety team that we have, if we had waves, I'd need double the number of water safety. So it's sort of the flat water conditions. It's nice because the kids can get in and they don't really get rattled. We get a bump every so often, and it's when we get it, we're celebrating. It's like the wave gods are good to us, you know. It's a good day.
Then how can you prepare someone from the UAE? Let's say they haven't been overseas because
It's really hard.
It's made tough, right? Yeah,
it's really hard. Whenever there was waves and we go to Sunset Beach, we know the forecast. So leading into World Champs, we knew we were going to be in the Gold Coast, and we've got some good flat water athletes. We've got Tia Watson, who's one of the best triathletes in the UAE. We've got Fraser Hallett, one of the best paddlers in the UAE, but flat water.
Yeah.
So whenever there's waves, we have to go. So Wednesday we're on. Saturday we do Vikings in the morning. We go to waves, but then also you got to acclimatise. So we got down to the Gold Coast and we got down 3 weeks early. So we did a bunch of fundraising. We got a bunch of sponsors on board to enable us to get in early to take on the waves.
Yeah,
because it's
acclimatise.
Acclimatise to the conditions. So those flat water skills could transfer. And I'm glad we did because like Tia Watson did amazing on the ski, like from flat water beginner 8 months ago to she was going out through the surf, punch through, caught waves.
Yeah.
Fraser was another one. He got through to the second round in the ski against open men, which was just insane. So you've got to map out a plan.
Yeah.
You chuck them in with no prep, and they don't get out.
Yeah,
they wouldn't get out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's a skill. You've got to be able to negotiate the surf, and we don't get the chance.
What's the thing when they talk about triathlons and there's no mountains to go mountain training in the UAE?
You've got to find a way.
You've got to find a way. Literally, 100%. I want to touch on the side of it, and T. Watson is the same one talking about Nick Watson's daughter with Rio, and okay, awesome,
amazing family.
Oh, crazy! Like
amazing family.
Literally, I mean, I've known it for a while, but just from the point I to talk with him and just his mentality behind things has been like you can see it's instilled now in the family and stuff like that, right?
The legacy and the impact that they've had on the UAE is just incredible.
Dude, yes, it's so good.
And his mindset, which is like you say, it's the family's mindset.
You see in Tia,
she's 18. She's incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, she was getting bashed in the surf. She got washed at a swim set one morning and she almost got washed on the rocks at Currumbin.
Oh, wow.
And she ended up swimming around the back. Like, it doesn't phase her. Back out again.
Man, see,
that's incredible. Just keep going.
The crossover, the life skills, the learnings that you can get into
100%.
this. Let's touch on that because right now, what are some of the stories that from students? You call them students?
Yeah, members, nippers, rookies, clubbies.
Yeah. What's like? I'm trying to think from a perspective, from the listener's perspective. Cool, I want to come down. I want to get involved.
Yeah.
What's like some key things you've seen people take away? Or
I guess the huge takeaway is the growth in confidence. The growth in I think two things: confidence and competence. The growth in competence is really cool, and it's hard to see. We go hard for a term and the kids all get really, really good.
10 weeks, right?
10-week term, sort of follow the school term. So you go hard and the kids get really, really good. And you notice the progress, but it's the next term when a couple of new kids join along and then you see that they're really off the back of the pack.
Oh, the difference.
So that's when you notice how far their competence has improved. But the big one, I think, for me is the confidence. I'll give you one story. We had one young lad who's been with Vikings for 3 years now. He's a poor little fella. He witnessed a drowning over one summer, and was really rattled and absolutely scared of the water. And his mum, we're gonna beat this because I want him to be able to swim. I want him to be confident. I want him to take part in surfing and windsurfing and go sailing and all that. So his mum wanted him to be confident around the water, and it's probably taken him 3 years. And now
to get that confidence,
to gain confidence, to build and gradually, a lot of nurturing, a lot of support, a lot of progressive sort of challenges for him, but. Now you wouldn't notice which one he is. But for the first year, they go swimming and he'd stop on the edge, and then with the water safety would come and maybe he'd go up to his knees, maybe not. The next month he'll do a little bit more. The next month a little bit more. So the first year he's progressed. But now you wouldn't even know which kid that is.
That's amazing because like when you think about people creating change in their lives, people expect this instant change, but change isn't instant. Like it's a gradual process, a gradual stepping stone.
And everyone's different. Like everyone's ready at different stages for whatever reason. Like, you turn up, new kids especially, you turn up to the beach, we're all in colourful tops. There's new coaches. There's, coaches in green. There's water safety in orange. There's age managers who are like a support role in blue. So there's all these different people and the big expanse of water and, all the new kids, and there's a lot of chat, a lot of buzz and new activities. So it sort of takes some kids 20 seconds. It takes some kids 2 minutes. It takes some 20. So everyone's different. But the progress and the growth that blows me away. I love it.
It's like the whole, I had the expression of duck in water type thing. Anyway, so when I think about this is I was like, okay, confidence, great. Listeners coming in. I think confidence. What I'm trying to say is confidence is massive. Obviously, it opens up a whole new world. Like you said, like talking about the mum saying like you want to be able to go windsurfing, or if it's kite surfing, or just being able to swim in the water or swimming in a space where there's waves.
Yep.
Like does it for you. Like, what is it from parents or from I want to say athletes, and it is athletes, but members' point of view, that goes like, okay, great, you're going to take these skills. Where have you seen people apply these skills in the real world, or in a career, or in schooling, or in team?
Yeah, I mean, they can apply it anywhere in terms of just their own well-being, just their own weekly well-being, like just that ritual of coming down the beach once a week, and you jump in the water. It's like whatever's happened that week is gone.
Yeah.
So it's like it just sort of washes away any problems. So I'm, if that's good for you, the well-being, you've got your mates down there, so you're connected.
Yeah, yeah.
You're learning some life-saving skills. So you're learning something new. You're gaining fitness. So it's like there's just so many takeaways on its own. Each one is good.
Yeah.
A lot of people fitness. I'll go to the gym, but they might go on their own. So it's just
It's a lonely pathway.
Yeah. So it's like whatever you like, but you're going to get the well-being. You're going to get connection to nature. You're going to get connection to friends and community. You're going to learn some stuff. You're going to get fitter. So it's a full package of what you're going to gain. In terms of what people and where they can apply it, not only sort of to themselves, it's also career pathways. Like I know a lot of kids we get, Dubai is a very aspirational city, and if you can stand out from the next person with the qualification and a life-saving qualification and a first aid qualification, it speaks volumes to who you are.
Yeah, totally.
Because this is not for me. I have this qualification and I can help somebody else. So it's giving back to the community. So it's a real feather in one's cap to put onto their university applications, to put on their job. You put on your CV that you've gained some qualifications, you've done some volunteering, and you've coached. Surf Lifesaving. It looks really, really good.
Massively. I mean, I look at it from another way when you talk about skills, and people like, hey, everyone talking about Surf Lifesaving, they say water, but we talked about this earlier, communication or under pressure, being able to be calm under pressure, And you think about management, or like if you think about careers, like the extreme ones off the top of the head, but like a firefighter, a policeman, an ambulance, a doctor, or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of surf lifesaving athletes go into firefighting.
Those there you go.
They're very strong. They're fit.
Yeah,
and they're capable of dealing with pressure.
Yeah.
A stressful situation doesn't rattle them.
That's so. There's with the this is what I'm thinking from my perspective, is if there is a massive other world out there, or what this. When you say start off at 3 years old and you're developing through, and you're going to be a son, like it's 8 years and stuff like that, but then look how much more opportunities you can get into. Even
then, it's just a family level, and I've paddled out when we get waves here. That we talk about, we get 1 foot, 2 foot, and I've paddled out with my son and my daughter out for a surf, and it's just the best feeling.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's just the best feeling as a family. So you've gained that experience, and I know some families. One young girl who's been with us for a while, she's now water safety. She was a rookie. She was terrified of the deep water. And it took ages to get over that confidence. But now she goes on surfing holidays with the family.
Yeah, see,
so they spent 6 weeks in Bali last summer. They're planning next summer.
Oh, wow.
In and around that. So it's that those doors that open up are just incredible. And like any of our kids that have been with us for a while, like my son, for instance, if he says, Dad, I want to go for a surf with my friends, I know that if he goes with another mate, they'll keep themselves safe. They'll know how to read what can cause problems and not get into problems, but also get out of problems if it arises. So there's so many benefits. It's
a massive on the other side, isn't it? Because like obviously, and from your perspective too, because you've been in this sport. I mean, you're Australian, so your sport's part of life, and it's part of it's life.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
So then here in the UAE though, it's very, very different. I mean, there's a lot of ethnicity through Asia and through parts of Europe that people haven't been exposed to the water. It's like, and mum and dad haven't been in the water. And you've kind of touched on this earlier beforehand that, we're just kind of alluding to just the youth mostly, but there's a lot of adults who don't know how to swim, or they don't have the confidence to do it. Do you guys deal with?
No, totally. We get a lot of, we're really well connected to Australia with Surf Lifesaving and my background. So we're always going to lean into the Aussie system. They're the best in the world. They win world championships.
Why wouldn't you?
They lead the way in water safety. Yep. So we're not reinventing the wheel. We're following standards. But in terms of where we're at in Dubai and how it operates, we're so inclusive of every nationality and backgrounds. Like we've got a Polish lady who helps out with our age managers, and her daughter does it. And we had the Polish team drop in last week, and they trained with our guys. And she's like, I didn't even know we had a Polish lifeguarding team.
There we go.
So they come in
Yeah.
and train with us. They turned up on the beach, these 4 fit fellas, all in red Speedos. They caused quite a stir. My daughter was like, what's going on? 'Cause they're used to the lifesaving, but they're not used to the Speedo culture. But it's
an Aussie thing to know.
It's so inclusive.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Doesn't
That's
matter
very,
where
very
you're from.
cool.
You turn up and you can swim 25 meters. You're ready to go.
How does it affect the parents though? I mean, what's kind of your philosophy on getting the parents involved with the children?
Oh, good question.
Because I mean, it's easy to go come along, and I see this with many other sports. Parents come along, they sit on the side, they are on the phone talking to someone, or the nanny comes along or whatever.
Yeah.
And the kids are doing the stuff, but the parents aren't. So
I've got a good mix, and I need a fair representation of parents to help out. Mm-hmm. So let's just say 100 kids. Out of those 100 kids, I've probably got 10 that coach. Mm-hmm. So they'll pitch up and they'll coach, and they're either a former clubby or they've got their bronze with us, or they're a surfer or they're a PE teacher. So I've got 10 that are heavily involved as coaches. Mm-hmm. I've probably got another 15 of that 100 kids help out as age managers, and they're like shepherds guarding the flock. Mm-hmm. So they'll check the kids in. Hey guys, how you doing? And like a team manager type thing for footy. So they'll take the kids to each activity, and then I've probably got another 5 parents in the water safety crew. So I've got a fair portion of parents heavily involved.
yeah.
I've lost track of the numbers. How many are we up to? About 30?
My maths is terrible, bro.
So we've got some really good buy-in from parents.
Yeah,
and
that's amazing.
And of that 100, there's probably a portion of those that train themselves.
Okay, yeah, well.
We've got sessions we've got adult sessions on Wednesday, we've got adult sessions on Friday. Mm-hmm. So the kids do nippers on Saturday, mum and dad will come down Friday morning before work.
Because separate
Wednesday,
training.
Separate training days. At the same time, on the weekends, we've also got an adult session.
Okay.
So there's about 10 parents on the Saturday, 10 on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's another 10. I think we're up to about 40. I'm not good with numbers.
I've got 10 fingers, mate, come on.
So I think we're up to about 40.
Yeah.
So 40 probably really heavily involved. Mm-hmm. And then the other 60 is probably a mix of what you talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe they walk off for a coffee, maybe they have a swim.
Mm-hmm.
Probably half and half, to be honest. Probably 30 stay and watch and are probably, really keen to watch their kids. And the other 30 have probably had a super busy week and are confident
time to
and
relax,
back us to take their kids and know they're going to be safe. So they'll go and have a coffee, go and have a walk and come back. And they've needed that hour.
Totally.
So I sort of get all of that.
Yeah.
So we probably get the full range of all of it.
What's the impact then from the parent that does and the parent that doesn't? Or the parent that doesn't? There's 2 groups. Because one is the parent that one that trusts, that literally just goes to think, cool, awesome.
Yep.
I suppose there's the one that doesn't actually know. I say this for the fact I know, and not that it was meant to happen, but parents do instill their fears on their children.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, if a parent doesn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
and then it's going on to how much of an impact, or do you encourage that, or you look to try and encourage the parent that doesn't know how to swim, does not know?
Yeah, good question. I think I just allow them to choose. Like if the parent is not a strong swimmer, they can be an age manager, and they don't necessarily get in the water. They're on land based, sort of taking them around, doing head counts. Yep, coach.
Which encourages the children anyway, right?
Still encourage it, and they're involved. And some love that because they don't have to plan the session. They don't have to gain qualifications to coach. They don't have to get there. They're literally a helper.
Yeah.
So even if they're a non-swimmer, they're the ones that are keen to get involved. Mm-hmm. But impact of those that do and don't, I guess the ones that really buy in really get and see the benefits.
Yeah.
So they really get more. I think they get more benefit. Mm-hmm. And of the 60%, I don't know if the numbers are right. Of the 60 who aren't actively involved in the session, I think that those 30 that are watching, they can see. The 30 that aren't watching, I guess I just think that they need that hour.
Yeah.
Like I think parents are super busy.
100%.
And I'm not sort of critical that they're not involved.
Oh,
and it's like I'm okay with them taking an hour, trusting us. So I guess I'm in a good spot with all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had at one point there on a Saturday crew. We were a bit light one week on water safety, so I put a call out to those that weren't involved, and I had 10 people put their hand up.
Oh, okay, very
so
cool.
I know that they're there,
Yeah.
and if they needed, they will get. We could get more involved.
Well, they showed up in the first place, right? Whether they drop them off and take off, there's still engagement to come down, and they know the importance of it.
Because I get a heavy buy-in from our teenagers, and the teenagers are amazing.
Yeah.
So I get good, they get great opportunities. They get really good connections with the kids, and they get all that growth. So of certain roles, the teenagers do a really good job. And I don't need the parents because sometimes the teenagers, they've got plenty of energy, they've got responsibility.
Yeah.
They can see that the next step up could be a paid coaching role. So they're really buying in, giving it their all. and that's probably better.
Plus, they don't work as hard as the mum and dad either, so they've got the you go do your
teenagers are
thing.
incredible. The teenagers we got are just incredible role models.
Awesome.
They're really good. They're really good.
We've kind of gone a little bit about. I want to go back in this way again because as far as UAE development and surf life saving, the future, kind of.
Yeah, really good question.
Going?
It's a new sport in the UAE.
Yeah,
and it's there hasn't been a lot done with surf life saving in the UAE.
Mm-hmm.
I'll touch upon the lifeguarding because we've just had a cool event, and then I'll come back to the life saving because there's that too, right?
Yep.
Just last week we had the UAE lifeguarding championships.
It's the first one, right?
No, this is the 20th one.
What?
20th UAE lifeguarding championships.
See why we bring you in, bro?
Yeah, at Atlantis.
Yeah,
and it's all run by a committee of. A volunteer committee, not-for-profit crew, really community-based.
Very cool.
All ex-lifeguards. I'm on the committee now. I've jumped on for the last 3 years, and it's just people passionate about water safety, and they want to. So the mission of the UAE Lifeguard Champs is promote water safety, recognise the role of the lifeguards and what they play. Try and we got them on the news. They had a news.
Yeah,
shout
saw
out
that. I saw it on your feed.
So
yeah,
that's really cool. And I think that, like you spoke about the Uncle Toby series in the 80s in Australia, it raises a profile.
100%.
So and then they're all fitter, like the Wild Waddies and the Aqua Adventure and the Menisiahi. Those Menisiahi guys train for 11 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
So
wow,
they're fit.
Wow.
They're really fit lifeguards.
Yeah.
And the teams that didn't do as well as they might wanted, that they're going to train harder for next year. So
Raise
as a result of the UAE Lifeguard Championships, all the beaches are safer because they're training harder.
Totally.
And they want to get on their teams and they want to get on telly and they want to get to the Aqua Adventure for the championships and win all prizes.
Exactly.
So it's so the lifeguarding has been around for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Again, not a big professional setup.
No, but still,
it's a not-for-profit.
Everything grows and evolves, right? So.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. The Polish guys come out for that, and we've got the date set for next year already. It's going to be at the 8 on the Palm. So the date's set. So we'll probably get more international teams in. So that will grow.
Totally.
Might need a live stream next year.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you know anybody.
We'll be there.
we can get it streamed.
Just call my name.
No, but it'll grow.
But it's true.
It'll grow.
And it's got it, right? And I think, okay, there's a fundamental water safety first, but like the encouragement and creating environments for growth. Like you said, the competition's there, and everyone loves a little bit of competition. It makes you want to be on top of the podium, or you want to be on the podium, or whatever.
We entered teams, and we entered 2 women's teams and 2 men's teams as Vikings, and that was the biggest representation of a club or a team, and we're really proud of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
And our girls team won, and they come first and second, which is amazing.
Wow.
Record numbers of men's team. There was 24 men's teams.
Wow.
So it's
how many
growing.
in a team?
We had 4 in a team.
Okay, wow. Far out. That is
we had 150 lifeguards in action. It was a brilliant day. Absolutely brilliant
so
day.
Good. Man.
Also, we had teenagers from a couple of schools. We had Munnery College and Kent College. They sent along some volunteers, so they were helping Marshall on the day. So you talk about opportunities and pathways. They were amazing. They were real credit to their schools.
Exposure to it all and the growth of it all. And then, the second side of it.
Yeah, so that's the lifeguarding scene. There's a bit of a lifeguarding scene. I'd love there to be more. Like there's always been talk, and because we're all volunteers that give up our time to run that one, what's your bandwidth to do more? But I'd love to see a pool-based lifeguarding competition because it's
true. Yeah, because that's the dominant thing over here, isn't it?
Here and in Europe as well.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Like when you get to World Championships, the European countries do really, really well in the pool. There's a whole bunch of pool events, much like what we're used to on the beach.
Yeah.
So there's 2 sides to life-saving sport, pool and the beach. So I'd love to see us try and kick off the pool-based lifesaving, lifeguarding and lifesaving.
Yeah.
I think it'll grow.
Oh, wow. Because obviously, as a whole, the UAE is growing. Like as the world, there's more eyes on the Middle East. I mean, what Saudi's doing, what UAE is doing, the growth and development, getting more people to be here, and obviously that means it creates opportunities for like surf lifesaving or any minor sport developing sports. Developing sports.
Oh, minor. It's developing. It's
developing, 100% sure. And so it's about pushing it forward. And so like opportunities or creating opportunities, what opportunities do you see maybe are required or you would like to see here?
Really good question. For the life-saving side, we entered a team, went down to World Champs. We had a team of 7. Pirates put a team in, had a few young fellas compete, which is really, really cool. And UAE Swimming turned up and they watched it and they saw it all. So that was that was really cool. Had a few meetings with them, and they're keen to grow the sport. And like you say, is UAE a bit of a base for some international events? There's some talk that things will happen here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they're keen to grow it, and we're keen to grow it. So I think
the facilities are here, right?
Facilities are here.
There's so much more people. There's so much thing happening that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
And it's like, then this is why I want to be doing this, so we get more exposure for all these things that are out there happening that people don't know about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the next World Championships are going to be in Morocco.
Okay. Wow.
So the last ones are on the Gold Coast, and it's like 8,000 athletes turn up.
Wow.
It goes for about 3 weeks because you've got all different categories. You've got national competitions, you've got and club competitions, and you've got youth, and you've got masters. We might sign you up. We might get you involved. Mate,
Let's go.
And you've got
I got my black speedos, by the way.
yeah, we'll get you in. But and then you got adults, and you got masters. You got it all.
Wow. That's
so it goes for
very
about 3
cool.
weeks. It's huge.
Yeah.
So the next one's in Morocco. Mm-hmm. But there was, UAE is having a real good look at it, and ILS would love UAE because it's such a great spot.
Yeah.
You could fly in from everywhere, and you've got flat conditions, so therefore it's a level playing field for European countries. And
Okay. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
lifeguards there are from all. We know of lifeguards and lifesavers on the beach, but also there's lifeguards and lifesavers at pools and lakes
100%.
across the world.
So,
So a flat water condition sort of levels the playing field.
Where there's more opportunities and more accessibility for people to be involved.
Yeah.
Those sides.
Yeah.
Then the other side of it, then when we talk about opportunities here, I mean, obviously, the ultimate dream for any country or any club organization would be like, let's help the regional champs or the or the world champs to be over here.
Yeah.
I know Dubai is a space that loves to have that kind of thing. There's so many sports that I've been fortunate to be involved with that have gone through that Middle East champs, and then they've had the world champs based here, and people don't even know about it. I mean, it's crazy that they don't know about it. But
yeah, it's just like it's an ambitious place, and it's visionary, and I love it here. And there's opportunities, and there's a can-do attitude.
Yes,
there's what do we need to do? Let's do it.
What would it okay, let's say it correctly, that the opportunities that come out, is it the competitions that's going to grow the awareness, or is it like more clubs here, or is it just more education, lecture
Probably
type thing?
Everything. It's
More
just awareness.
combination.
Like we went into a school the other day and we did water safety stuff. I took a few coaches down, and kids didn't know about it. Like we offered to do an ECA, and we didn't get much sign up because they don't know.
Yeah.
So you're creating the awareness, and I guess how do you create that awareness? Is it lectures? Is it school visits? Is it on the news? Is it promotional awareness? Is it taster sessions? Is it a big event in itself off the back of that? So it's probably a combination of everything.
That goes out there.
And what is first? Is it the big event, and then you'll get clubs, or is it clubs? I mean, I know
chicken or the egg.
Yeah, you need it all.
Yeah.
Like if there was no clubs, there's probably no chance. But there's 3, and I know Abu Dhabi want some stuff going on up there as well. So it's if there was 4 or 5, well, you got more of a chance.
So then what's the next thing, in your opinion, that could be best beneficial or give the most impact to that evolution?
It's the growth of the life-saving sport.
Okay.
So I think the lifeguarding one, can grow. The structure's there, the committee's there. I think that could grow. It's the growth of life-saving. And then it's the kids against other kids. It's that, take it back when it first started, one club challenging another club.
Yeah.
And that's how it grows. And, and we've done that with Warriors.
Okay, cool.
We've done that with Warriors. We've had 5 surf carnivals.
Oh, wow, awesome.
And they started off, they were a small club and they were new, and they had 40 kids, and they all come to the beach, all 40 of them, and we sort of handpicked 40, had a mixed team, and we had a great morning on the beach.
Nice.
And then we've had a second and a third and a fourth. We've had 5 surf carnivals.
Wow, geez.
With a proper life-saving ethos. You race hard, you race fair, you have some fun. And it's like you're on you put your toe on your line, and you want to beat the person next to you.
Yeah.
You want to go hard, and but you do it properly, and then you shake hands at the end, and you're messing around at the back, having fun after. So it was a really, really good matching up of the ethos.
That's awesome. So I want to ask about the details of how do you compete. What are you doing exactly? Like you're saying, to compete. Okay, great. You rescue someone faster? No.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, I know, but I mean, for someone
it
that
all
doesn't
sort of
know.
mirrors in and around rescue skills.
Yeah.
So it's all about, whether it's reactions, whether it's swimming speed, whether it's board, So you got your classics, you got your swim race, you got your board race, and then rescue simulation races. So
what would the swim race or board race involve? What would that involve?
Basically,
very new. No.
Yeah, almost like a triathlon event. So you'll have your swim cans out, swim buoys out, and you start line, finish line, swim around that buoy, and come back. So swim a set distance. Usually for adults, it's 400 meters.
Okay.
So it's about a 400 meter swim.
Yep.
Board race is about 600. So again, similar sort of cans. It might be a triangle apex. You swim around or your paddle boards around, finish up the beach. Skis as well, like a kayak. Paddle skis, that's normally 800 meters. So you're paddling out and around, back again.
Worker.
And then you'll have team ones.
Yeah.
So you might have a swimmer, and a paddler, and relays.
Yeah.
And then you've got running events. You've got beach flags, which is a really popular favourite one.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. You'd love it. You would love it.
I do.
You would love it.
I do.
So there's sort of simulated rescue events, beach fitness, like run, swim, runs. There's all sorts of stuff
That's very cool.
skills and fitness that a lifeguard, lifesaver would need, and it's replicated in the surf sports.
Into the sports side of things, because that's where I think that people. I mean, like I kind of refer to or look at it as that same thing of what CrossFit did for fitness.
Yeah.
You know, fitness was training for do fitness, and now there's high rocks and CrossFit and
Yeah.
other fitness events that go on and type of thing. They're just
Well, we get that crossover. We've got some really good athletes. We've got some really good swimmers in our club. Any young surfer, I've got a few young surfers that come and do it because it's good fitness. You know,
Yeah.
The best surfer in the water is the one that catches the most waves. And if when the water's flat, you know, you need to be fit. So we've got a few good surfers, and they're going to be good board paddlers. Our swimmers, we've got some really good swimmers who are some of the best swimmers in the country.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great lifesavers. And they're great at surf sports because the adaptation is pretty easy.
the crossover type of thing.
You're not following a line. You've got to spot, and you've got to navigate and stuff. So and you're in a pack, so you've got to get used to that.
How much do you now you've just said that equipment? How much equipment or how much time do you spend practicing equipment? Because when you think about water safety, it's like I'm an individual, I'm swimming in the water.
Yep.
But then like how much as far as from your perspective, or whether it be for saving, obviously you got a tube or things like that. So
really
the
good
tube,
question.
the ring, the ski, whatever.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Bit of both. Like in a typical hour session, we'll have a mixture of life-saving, personal fitness, and for kids as well. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, totally.
So it's all sort of gamified and made fun, because if a kid's not having fun, then they're not coming back next week. Parents aren't signing their kids up to be lifesavers.
Yeah, totally.
You know, they'll eventually get there because they'll see it, but they sign up for their kids to sort of maybe put their screens down, maybe make some friends, get a bit fitter, and life-saving's a vehicle. So we know they're not coming down to be professional lifeguards. So it's got to be fun, but it's gonna have a full mix, and we dial up more of this and we'll dial down that depending on the weather as well. But it's a full mixture.
So where's that I don't want to say it's not a competition, but I mean, because obviously surf lifesaving and lifeguarding is something completely different from the pool, and swimming clubs have been around for a long time here, and like they sell based on learn water safety.
Yep.
You know, and obviously swimming's got the competitive side of it. It's more popular. It's in the Olympics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then I suppose that becomes competition is not the word for it, but like, you know, that is kind of one. It is one a competition against what you're doing as well. But I mean, where's the difference? Why would someone say, for example, why to choose between swimming club and lifesaving?
Well,
lifeguarding?
often at the elite level, you're doing both.
Yeah,
like in surf club. So like I've been in some Australian teams, and we've had Kai Hurst was our swimmer, and he swam at the Olympics. We had Clint Robinson as our ski paddler. He won gold at K1 in the kayak.
Yeah.
So at the top level, the good guys are doing both. And currently now, Lani Pallister, who swam at Paris, gold medalist for the Australian team, she gets back to Australia, and then the next week she's racing at Surf Club.
Oh wow, really?
So she did Paris, then she come back and she did World Champs. She was on the line next to Tia Watson and my crew.
Oh, really?
Seriously, Lani Pallister, awesome. Olympian.
You didn't run over here. Can I get an autograph?
Oh, she's huge. Like, she's tall, and Tia's 17 and she's not real big. It was like, so at that level, the crossover is there.
That's huge. Yeah,
it's massive.
Again, I don't want to compare them too much, because like there's obviously because you know because swimming's so popular. It's I don't know.
We probably pick up a lot of swimmers who maybe 15, 14. Because it's not the most social. It's a great sport, and if you're competitive and you're driven, a lot of kids have gone on.
I mean, it's so isolated. You're by yourself for a lot of time. Like with surf life,
so a lot of kids
community social
don't get the social aspect.
Yeah,
because rugby, you got your mate next to you. You can chat, and
you have to talk. You're forced to communicate.
Yeah, in swimming, you might not get that. So we get a lot of swimmers who have had enough of that black line, and they're coming to the beach. They got their mates, and they're swimming, and there's waves, and it's different environment. You see fish, and you see turtles when you're swimming and stuff. So it's we pick up a lot of swimmers who have had enough of competitive swimming as well.
Yeah,
but we've got also competitive guys. We've got one guy who swims for the UAE team.
Oh right, jeez, yeah.
Young fella, he's a great swimmer. He's got PB 50 meters of 22 seconds. Like he's probably going to make the Olympics.
Far out, sorry.
And he's
Would he be the
been with
first?
us. Huh?
Would he be the first to make from here?
He's on track. Like he's on track. They've had Olympic swimmers.
Okay.
But they're now, more inclusive and more expats, if you like,
Yeah.
of people who are residents and call the UAE home, like who have been here a long time.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant from the UAE.
That's very cool.
I
didn't realise.
consider myself, this is our home.
Yeah.
And we love the opportunities, and if you can represent, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's been more opportunities. Like I said, there are more opportunities arriving, and every year there's more opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to ask before we wrap this one up. I do want to ask the side of when, because like here it's obviously super hot during the summer.
Yeah.
Here in the UAE, like surf lifesaving, that is more of an outdoor, under the sun type of thing. How do you adapt that, like more specifically for the UAE?
Yeah, good question.
you run on the terms and stuff like that, but how do you adapt the challenges here? 'Cause it's a unique challenge, right? As well.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, we can run it almost all year, all school year.
Oh well, really?
Almost all school year. We shut it down. Early. What are we talking? Early, about mid-June. But obviously we adjust stuff. So the intensity levels and the volume that we do in January, February is not as, we wouldn't match that same intensity levels in June. It might be more lower intensity, more skill based, and more social based and more communication stuff. So we over the course of the season, you've got to be really clever how you schedule your curriculum and how you schedule your planning for the year. Because if you just run out the same program all year, it's not going to work.
Yeah, totally.
And we know when we start back again, the kids are not used to the heat. So the end of the year, it's not too bad because you're acclimatized and it gets hotter each week, 1 degree, 2 degrees. So you're adjusting each week. And we change things slightly and, longer rest breaks or, you build in water breaks. So you do stuff that you need to do. But we're pretty lucky. Like the amount of time we get, we're pretty lucky. Compare it to, we got a German coach. He's like, so our coldest day, he's like, this is our best summer. So, and if you're doing lifesaving in Hobart, your season's short.
Yeah, real short.
So we've got a pretty good season.
That's pretty awesome.
And I think that's why our crew get pretty good. Because we
Good
can
amount of
almost put a fair 8-9 months into it.
Do you have to change the education, like for seasonal, to be like, okay, it's hot. This is something you actually have to deal with hot water instead of.
Oh yeah, and it's
because that's unique as well, right? It's how hot the water is compared to other places.
Probably the biggest adjustment challenge is the cold water.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's cold when the wind is up. So the water temperature drops to about 20, 21, 19. It's lovely. It's beautiful. But if the wind is up and you're a 6-year-old and you've got you're built like a minute to 6, so there's not much insulation on you.
Exactly.
You get cold pretty quick. So you've got to be smart about what you do in and around those months as well. We always get in the water still. We always get them in. If you want to wear a wetsuit, that's no problem.
Yep.
That's fine. But we also adjust the activities. So it's probably adjusting to the cooler weather, which is we get used to really warm water here.
Super lucky.
And we get a bit expat soft.
I've been there 5 years ago.
So it's an adjustment to the cooler water is probably more.
Yeah.
As coaches and planners, we make sure that the session is adjusted, ready to deal with the warmer water. But it's the mindset that we really challenge and the attitude that you approach to that cooler water.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Because that's why I wanted to ask about that, because when you think about it, if they are doing the rescue side of things, I mean, if the water is super hot or if it is super cold, for example, depending on where you are in the world and what you're doing, then it is about, preparing yourself. And you're not going to be like, it's not like you go like, oh, the water's cold, I'm not going in to make a rescue, you know what I mean? Or it's hot. But you can't also rescue someone if you're not prepared either.
Well, it always comes back to the number one rule of rescues and lifesaving and lifeguarding is keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
So if that water's freezing cold water and you don't have the personal protection equipment, you don't jump in, you put yourself in danger. So you always keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
But in terms of adjusting to the weather as well, you just get used to it here somewhat. Like when we trained for the world champs, and it's in October.
What was the difference like between? Lucky it was up north of Australia.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was the tail end of the winter, so it was lovely. But our guys who were here through July, we had to train here.
Oh yeah.
So you're up super early. But you don't get the same intensity.
Yeah,
you can't
totally.
physically.
We had that 3 weeks build into it anyway.
But we had the lovely build up, which was perfect, and we tapped into some all my contacts back in Australia.
Yeah, you still one.
No, we had Simon Harris come down and coach our crew in the beach flags. He's like 10-time Australian champion. Zane Holmes,
awesome.
former mate of mine who was in the Australian, most capped Australian lifesaver ever.
Jeez,
He come down and did a few sessions with the crew.
That's brilliant.
So they just had this knowledge, and picked up tips from these legends of the sport.
Yeah.
Not only that, cool. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what exposure you get to that.
And then they all come back better coaches. So they all come back with this greater knowledge from what they picked up from these legends of the sport. They didn't know. I had to send them YouTube clips. Watch Zane Holmes race here. Watch his No, it's like don't know.
Yeah,
and watch his finish in this race, and it's like he body surfed this wave, and he got up early, and it was unbelievable surf skills. And it's like whatever he says, just have your ears open and you're going to listen, right? Like just take it in. And it was a great opportunity.
And that's super cool.
Yeah,
oh, man. So there's a growth, there's a evolution, the development of it here. And then how many, you got over 200 members, nippers?
We're nudging, this term we had finished up with 550 this term.
550?
Last one
my
we had
mathematics
600.
is terrible.
We're probably going to top. This is our most popular term. Coming into term 3,
wow.
Schools drop off a bit. This one is our most popular term. So we're probably going to have our biggest number on the beach.
Wow, that's
probably
amazing.
going to top 600.
Well done.
And then we've got school groups. We've had so many school groups. Victory Heights, Des, we've got so many school groups coming on board, which is just amazing.
Gee, that's incredible, man.
Brilliant.
Keep
good fun.
Okay, look down the camera there. Tell them where they can find you, where they can...
It's check us out on Instagram, Viking Surf Sports. Drop us a message. We'd love you to come and join us on the beach. Your timing's pretty good. It's sign-ups now. So we've got next term. We start after the spring break, so the timing's pretty good. If you want to join us on the beach, places fill up pretty quick. So 3 years old up to... We've got a fella 60 years of age training with us at the moment. He's an absolute charger. So all ages, all nationalities... welcome, come and join us.
Brilliant, awesome, guys. It's super important. I mean, what a safety, what a confidence, and you just heard today, like how much you can take what has been delivered and what's been taught into other parts of life as well. I mean, just that part of confidence and being able to work under pressure, or be like how you operate under pressure alone. I think two massive things, and be involved with family, like you're saying as well, to be able to take kids out and be able to or leave them alone somewhere.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
like that just underpins what we do. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you look at the reasons why kids drop out of sport. They don't find it fun anymore. So if it's not fun, we that's the number one thing. We make it safe, we make it fun, and the rest just takes off.
Brilliant. So check it out. Make sure you live. Actually, I do on Kite Beach as well all the time, and I see you guys out there. And it's a massive tribe of people going out there. But check that out, and make sure you jump in the comment section. Let us know any questions you have, anything that you like to ask more about as well, and as we continue to bring you more value and information about sports, health and fitness here in the region. So until next time, cheers, bro.
Thanks for having us. Good fun.
Good times. Yeah.